A long time ago, in a paradise called the Garden of Eden, there was only one rule: live in harmony with everything around you. It was a perfect world, no pain, no fear, just beauty. In this garden, God created the very first human, Adam. He had a big job, taking care of this perfect place. He named the animals, tended the plants, and enjoyed life. But there was something missing. Adam was lonely. Even in a beautiful garden full of animals, he didn't have a true companion. So God decided to create someone special, a partner for Adam. From Adam's rib, God created Eve. She was the perfect match for him. Together, they could share everything the garden had to offer. Adam and Eve lived in perfect peace. There was only one rule God gave them: do not eat the fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. If they ate it, they would die. Simple, right? But here's where things start to go wrong. One day, a serpent, who was more cunning than any of the animals, came to Eve. It whispered to her, "Did God really say you can't eat from any tree?" Eve replied, "We can eat from all the trees, except the one in the middle. If we eat from it, we will die." The serpent smiled and said, "You won't die. In fact, God knows that if you eat it, you'll become just like him, knowing good and evil." Eve hesitated. The fruit looked delicious, and the idea of becoming wise like God was tempting. So, she took the fruit and ate it. And then, she gave some to Adam, who was right there with her. He ate it, too. In that moment, everything changed. Their eyes were opened, and they felt ashamed. They had broken the only rule. They quickly covered themselves, trying to hide their guilt. But even worse, they heard God walking in the garden, and they were afraid. They didn't want to face him. God called out, "Where are you?" Adam answered, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked." God asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I told you not to eat from?" Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent. Nobody wanted to take responsibility. But God knew what had happened. He told them there would be consequences. Life in the garden would no longer be easy. God told the serpent it would crawl on its belly forever. He told Eve that from now on, having children would bring pain. And he told Adam that the ground would be hard to work, and that he would have to struggle for food. But the worst consequence? They were banished from the Garden of Eden. No longer could they live in paradise. As Adam and Eve left the garden, their hearts were heavy with regret. They had broken the only rule, and now everything was different. They would experience pain, loss, and separation from the life they once knew. But even in their punishment, there was a glimmer of hope. God promised that one day, someone would come to fix what had been broken. Someone who would bring healing to the world. The story of Adam and Eve teaches us that our choices matter. Sometimes, it's the little choices that can change everything. And though we may make mistakes, there's always hope for a new beginning.